Okay, it's time to start. I'll call the meeting to order. First item is approval of the agenda.
Move to approve. Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Minutes of the November 15th, 2022 board meeting.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any questions or comments? If not, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Approved. This is a time, place, and date set for a public hearing on the plan, specification, and estimate for the walk bridge. I need a motion to open the public hearing.
So
Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. The hearing is open. Have you received any written comments?
I have not.
Are there any oral comments pertaining to the walk bridge? Okay, I don't see any hands, so you were first, I think.
So I just sit here and see what I want to say, or?
You can give your name to the clerk and then you can say almost anything you want.
Okay. For the case, I really love the trail, and I think that bridge is an important part of it. There are folks, including myself, although I don't do it as often as I should, who like to make that loop on their lunch hour or right before it gets dark, a little dog walking downtown. So it's important to be able to take a relatively short trip. So you start at Bridgeview and go across that bridge, go past the skate park, utilize that widened area on the other bridge. It makes a nice little jaunt. So I think it's a valuable asset to the community, and I really like to keep it. You know, I don't like to spend a whole lot of money, but I think this is an important thing. When we invented it long ago, we talked about how structurally, I don't remember the county engineer at the time, but he talked about how structurally it was not suited to have enormous gatherings, like all the citizens of town stand on the bridge at the same time. It wasn't good for that. It was not rated for vehicles. So I want to be sure that we separate, in our minds at least, the cost of repairing the vandalism caused by the fire and making upgrades that just would serve a purpose that didn't exist. I love the bridge.
Thank you.
Kara Galloway. So I'm here to speak in support of the bridge. I have, through my everyday job with CASA, I meet with students on a regular basis. And students have expressed how important that bridge is for them to get from one side of town to school and then back, and how not having that bridge, they have to go pretty far out of their way. And it has caused a pretty significant disruption to their lives and safety too, the way that they have to go. So I'm here to just express those views from the students that I've met with over the last year and the importance of that bridge. Thank you.
Thank you. Steve?
Steve Siegel at Tumla. As you may know, I was on the board when we took ownership of the bridge from the city, and then later when the city wanted to sell the bridge for $500 of scrap to tear it down. And the struggle we went through to keep that bridge, and all the people, especially Larry Kofer, who worked on putting those boards down. It was probably 13, 14 years ago when that happened. I think that bridge symbolizes the trail system, and it's one of the oldest, if not the oldest, structures in Ottumwa still standing. I think it goes back to the 1870s. I did a lot of research on it at the time. But it's a vital part of the trail system. We really need it, and I urge you guys to fund this. Thank you.
Yes.
Fred Zeziger, Main Street in Tumwa. The bridge has been there for a number of years now, and I think it's a vital role in not only the Main Street district, but the South Side commercial district. And I think it's one of those ways that we can tie the north to the south. And I just think it's very important. I think we just started to see some development starting to happen on the south side of that train bridge, and there's room for more development there. And I think that pedestrian bridge is about 15 minutes.
Yes.
Fred Jenkins on the Pueblo County Trails Council. When they formed the Trails Council back years ago, the trail bridge became the focal point for our Trails Council, and as we expanded the system through Atumwa and got the community support, that bridge and all the volunteer effort that went in to get that decking on there has been the focal point for the local County Trails Council. We urge you to keep that bridge intact for us as part of the trail system.
Yes,
Tom Lozelle, City of Tumble. Just wanted to say thank you for the past work, especially Steve Siegel on the purchasing and getting the bridge in place. It's an integral part of the trail system, well known throughout the state, and I would really ask that you support the repair and upkeep of the bridge as part of the trail system.
thank you. Yes,
Bob Myers, and I agree a lot of the things, but Brenda and Steve, remember back when the decision was made for the county to make that purchase and what we hoped it would do as far as uniting the community. And it has sure done that. So I would sure support the supervisors going ahead and doing the necessary repairs.
Rick Johnson with the City of Atumwa, and I would echo basically what everybody's already said. I think the bridge is a vital part of our trail system, and I guess the other thing that I would ask the Board of Supervisors to also look at is what kind of enhancements can be made to hopefully help diminish future vandalism in the future. I don't know if additional lighting or cameras on the bridge would deter people from doing vandalism. I know you're always going to have vandalism. You can't make it 100%. That you're not going to have that, but is there anything extra that could be not have to keep doing all these repairs over and over because they get very costly, obviously.
yes,
Richard Sloan from Macomb. I'm a avid user of the trail system. I want to show my support. And one thing I would like to add is, what are you going to do with it if you don't fix it?
well, the original plan before we got it was to demolish it,
And how much is that going to cost?
a bunch.
Okay.
A bunch. I guess maybe I should start off by saying, and I don't speak for the board, we don't have any intentions of closing. This hearing today is not really a hearing to say, supervisors, will you fix it? And someone say, no, don't fix it. Our intentions are to fix it. This is a hearing on the plans. We're required by law to hold a public hearing on the plans, the specifications, the form of contract, and the estimate. That's letting the public know, here's what it probably will cost if we go ahead with it. So I appreciate all your comments. It shows that maybe we're heading in the right direction because we're holding the hearing today on the plans. I don't know if any of you have had a chance to look at the plans or, basically what it is, it's going to be a simple construction. They'll be pouring some footings and then they're going to take crane and lift the bridge right on top of it. So it won't take long to build. There are a few things there that the engineer from Klinger and Associates has said that we can save some money if we do. Like there's some brush growing around it, a few $1,000s for the contractor to remove that. We may go ahead and remove that and save the contract cost. There's some sidewalk that needs to be torn out. There's some beams. So there's a way to save some money, but the estimate is somewhere from 312,000 to about 325,000 to do it. I've talked to Steve to see if what kind of fundraising the Trails Council could do. This project doesn't hinge on getting that. We have the money to do it. We don't need a bond issue and we don't need any loan or anything. We have the funds to complete the bridge work. So it's like one of those projects where everything's fallen into place. It appears that the public, and I've heard from when I go to lunch, there's a lady that usually attacks me every time I go because it's not done. And I try and explain it, it does take time. We want to do it right. We don't want to just throw it together. So a year or two from now, somebody else has got a problem. So Wayne was able to get in touch with an engineer in Quincy, and I think it's a really good plan. I think the cost is probably close. It's a little more than what we expected, but it's close enough. But even though we say we have the money, we still certainly would hope that the Trails Committee would have some fundraisers to replenish whatever we could of that. The plan, if we go ahead with this, is that we would today, if the plans are approved, we would have a motion to approve the plans. And if that passes, then I suggested to the engineer yesterday that we take bids on it up until December the 19th at 4 p.m. And then at our meeting on the 20th, we would take those estimates and refer them to the engineer. He would have an answer back to us on December 27th for approval of the contract. So that's the time frame. We would be able to get it done really in short term. That's really important because when we first started on this, they said it would be at least a year before we could get a contractor that would even have the time to work on this. But now, if we're going to let the contract now here in the winter, they're planning their summer stuff. We'll be a part of that. So we would be approving it on December the 27th if everything falls into place. Are there any other comments? Yes.
Jeff Scalbert, Waco County Engineer. Looking over the plans, I see two big obvious errors in the set of plans. Number one, this bridge is going to be approximately, looks to be 8 feet short. And it's referencing old DOT standards.
When did you find that out?
Just now,
So have you talked to the engineer?
I have not.
I would suggest that this morning we call the engineer.
Are you saying,
Go ahead.
are you saying the bridge itself is gonna be 8 feet short or?
It looks like it. It calls out that Wapello County is to span the gap between the old bridge and the new bridge. And it looks like it's about an 8-foot gap.
I don't remember seeing him say that or anything, but
On sheet V.01. It doesn't call out the distance, but I'm just estimating. And then on the very first cover sheet, it calls out Iowa DOT bridge standard specifications for highway and bridge construction series 2012. I believe the most current is 2015 with DOT standard specifications.
Is there a difference between the 12 and the 15?
Quite a bit. There's a lot of
I mean, in relation to this bridge,
yeah, there'd be
what would that be?
it's just updated text throughout the specifications.
you're looking at specs for a bridge for automobiles, trucks and stuff like that, not just a pedestrian bridge.
It would be the same, it would be the same specs that all bridges use.
I can't see that because there's not that capacity on the bridge.
Those are just the top two issues I see.
My suggestion would be we approve the plans as submitted and remind the engineer that designed it that there may be some questions about it, and he'll certainly correct those. Any other comments? Not, I'd entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. I would then entertain a motion to approve the plans with any modifications that the engineer thinks are appropriate. Second. Got a motion and a second. Is there any comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Then I need a motion to set the date of December the 19th at 4 p.m. as the final time to turn in bids to the auditor. Okay, got a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, say no. So that will be the plan for now. If there are any changes that are necessary, then the way the motion was made, the engineer will update those if there's a concern. And you can let the board know if you have fundraisings and what potential you can help with this.
We will, thank you.
Any other discussion, comments, or questions about this?
How will, if you guys have to fund some of this, Jerry, how much would that come out of lost or how would that?
Yeah.
Local option.
Local option sales tax.
All right.
When the local option sales tax was passed, the referendum, it was passed on our ballot for us. The cities is different, but on ours, it was 50% goes to bridges and culverts. 25% goes to capital projects. That's like this here. And then 25% goes to rural property tax relief. So until there's another election, that's the way we have to spend it. And it will come out of the capital projects part. And we do have sufficient funds there to do it. Anything else about the bridge? Okay. Public hearing to close and vacate County Road 185th Avenue. I need a motion to open the public hearing. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, say no. Do you have any written comments? Are there any oral comments?
Director Rick said, Walpole County Conservation, the Conservation Board just asked that the ownership of the road from the highway to the parking lot at the north end of this property be granted to the County Conservation Board. So we can still provide adequate access, which is underneath the grant that bought the property, but adequate access be available. And the rest of the road on down past properties that we're not concerned. We just want to be able to, if people came back and say, hey, you Habitat dollars to purchase that, and now you're not giving adequate access. We just would like to have that piece transferred to us so we can maintain it as at least an access for the public.
Okay. Any other comments? I'd entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Resolution number 56, 2022 to close and vacate County Road 185th Avenue.
Move the resolution.
Any questions or comments?
I'd just like to point out, me and Rick and Jeff and property owners out there went and met down at the library in Eddyville, went out, toured the property, and this really almost is nothing more than a cow path right now anyway. And with the vacating of it, I think it's going to be better for everybody, landowners and county conservation, the mine reclamation project. So this will be a good thing, and one less road, I guess, to really take care of, right?
You know,
Okay, we voted on that. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, say no. Resolution number 53, 2022 to close and transfer County Road 185th Avenue.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Consider completion of microfilm digitization project. What this is a couple of years ago, the library in Ottumwa came to us and they wanted to digitize the old couriers, starting back in the beginning, 1900s. that was not being done, I guess, even at the Courier to have all those. And what it would do is not only have those at the library, but on your computer, you'd be able to bring up the old Couriers. I didn't see you there. You could have explained all this. Could have, we can bring it up on your computers, and the county paid for a section that went up maybe 1920s. And then we did a second section that's taken us farther. And I think it's just imperative that we complete the project and not just leave it hanging there. We've had a good working relationship with the library. They don't have the funding to do this. And this is not, I don't look at this as a library project. This is a community project, because we're going to all benefit from this. It just happens that it's going to be housed at the library. So the whole community is going to benefit from having done this. And again, we have the funding. We don't need any bond issue. We don't need any loan. We're not going to short any department because of it. So that's why I had asked that she come up with this proposal. Do you have any comments from your board or anything?
Well, we're just really grateful for the support from the Board of Supervisors on this project. The grand total of the project to get us caught up to 2019 would be in the $95,000 range. Prices change a little bit as we've gotten quotes over the years. But we started this in October of last year, 2021. And that first one was, I think, approximately 24,900 something. And we got to 1924, which is what's in the public domain. So that you can be anywhere right now and go on that in our internet site and search this. Then you guys gave us another gift of about 20,000 to cover up to 1952. Then we applied for a grant through the Iowa Historical Society for 5,000. That got us to 1957. I have a grant in the works to get us to 1963. And the estimate that we provided to you last week for this meeting would get us from 1963 to 2019. We'd be really grateful for that. The thing about microfilm, as you had indicated, that we have the only permanent records. The Courier does not have their old issues or backdated issues. And so just for preservation's sake, microfilm gets flaky and dry, and once it is destroyed, the records are destroyed. With the digitization, not only are we preserving it, but we're actually making it easier to search. So if you don't have any indication, like you just know your grandparent died in 1919, you can keyword search their name and it'll pull it up. So just like you're Googling anything else on the internet, you won't have to just go through and read all the Couriers from 2019 to find it. So I think that's an amazing technological advancement. And then also the fact that if you've moved away and you want to research your family from here, you don't have to call and use staff time. You can do it yourself from wherever you are. Just Friday, in advance of this meeting, we got word from the Courier publisher that he signed the copyright contract so that we can go live with all of the online. You don't have to be in the library to search. So even the stuff that is post public domain date of 1924, you'll be able to search now, which is a gift since Friday.
I think it's a tremendous opportunity. You know, sometimes we do these things and we do piecemeal, and we do part of it and we never see it completed. Here's a chance that we can complete this, and it's to the benefit of everybody. It's one, there's no downside to this here. So I'd certainly recommend that we approve the about 47,000, is it?
I'd move,
47,895.
I'd move to approve, so it's 47,895.
Is there any comments on this before we go ahead? Have a motion to approve and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you.
Personnel, request for payroll approval, change of employment, assessor's office.
That salary is correct.
Move to approve.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Request for payroll, new hire, county attorney's office.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, say no. Any other business to come before the board? We have the treasurer's investment report of October 2022.
Move to accept the file.
A motion and a second to accept and file. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Any other comments or questions?
Jerry, I'd see the story, maybe you guys saw it the other day. One of the pipelines in the state is suing 2 different counties for basically the boards of supervisors trying to dictate where the pipelines can go, and this is more in central Iowa. But I just kind of wanted maybe an update or a refresher as far as what your guys' conversations have been with Navigator. They haven't been here for a while, hadn't heard anything, but have you guys had any problems with conflicts as far as property owners or anybody like that, as far as where the pipeline is going to be laid?
I've had no property owners come to me about it. And that was kind of the history of when we had the other pipeline went through. Very, very few really came to talk to us. I think we had one farmer come to a board meeting. We do have, when I was at the Iowa State Association of Counties meeting, we were given a copy of ordinances that we could pass. We've not looked at doing that yet. There's still time. But what the ordinances basically say is they want us to move it farther away from the city limits in case the city ever decided to annex, that they wouldn't have the pipeline there. And that might sound good, but you don't know what annexation is going to take place in what direction. If you look at in Ottumwa, we have not really annexed that direction. Our direction has been north, like closer to and toward the airport. So the opportunity and the reasons to annex to the east just hasn't created a problem for us. But that's still a consideration and ordinance. And there's a few counties that have done that. Generally, those that have done it are ones who want to stop the pipeline and they want to create whatever roadblocks they can. That wouldn't be our intention. If we do it, we want to preserve land or make things easier, but not to stop the pipeline.
When was the last time you guys had even spoken to them?
I spoke to Navigator last week. He stops in when he's going through the area to update us on where they're at.
Where are they at? I guess?
Well, there's going to be delays because of things that have happened at the Iowa Utilities Board. None of us have anything to say about that. So they'll just update us.
Thank you. As former mayor, I wanted to come and express my appreciation to Wayne and to you, Jerry, for your service as supervisors. Due to travel plans and scheduling conflicts, I won't be able to be at a meeting in December. So now that the election's been certified, again, I just want to appreciate the opportunity I had to work with all 3 of you, but especially the 2 of you that are leaving. Thank you for providing public service and doing what was best for Wapello County. So we'll miss seeing you at the meetings, but hope you'll stay involved.
Thank you. Any other comments or questions? If not, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no.